Have you wondered how gas logs or gas wall unit may operate? And the for for this illustration, we'll say maybe the sequence of operation. That's a terminology used in gas. But we sketched out a little schematic here, which is not very great, but it'll kind of give us a 1, 2, 3 of what goes on. One, we have a thermocouple. Okay, we have thermocouple here. The thermocouple goes to the gas valve. Once we press the gas valve, and then we press the igniter, the gas gives us a flame. But we continue to hold this in until X amount gets hot. So the question is, and then we release it and turn it to 1, 2, 3 or whatever term your gas valve has. But how does this work so we do not have to continue to manually hold this in to allow gas to go through? We have a thing called a thermocouple. Okay, thermocouple. They call it the Seebeck effect or something, perhaps with this technology, some type of German, perhaps German. I'm not certain where he was from, but anyway, long before my time and probably many others. But notwithstanding, we have the thermocouple that goes out. Okay, we have a flame. Say this is a lighter, a cigarette lighter, for instance. We say this heats the end of this up. We have two different wires. We have what they call a hot junction and a cold junction. Two dissimilar wires. Well, what happens is when this temperature heats this up and it creates some type of the heat creates some type of, between the dissimilar wires, goes back and creates a millivolt. So we come back and we have perhaps a DC millivolt of electricity. So in the gas valve, once we have the gas valve, say for instance, it may be a solenoid or something along these lines. So this solenoid, once the flame hits the end of this, you got two dissimilar wires. You got the hot junction and the cold junction. Once the hot junction heats up where the flame's at, the cold junction, then it sends it back and it sends a DC millivolts back to the gas valve, which actually holds the solenoid, or what, I'm not sure what nomenclature they use, but it holds the gas valve open. So they call this the Seebeck effect. So let's recap here. How does a thermocouple and how do gas logs or gas wall unit work? Simply, we have a gadget called the thermocouple. So we go out, it's connected somehow to the gas valve or thereabouts. What happens on the hot junction on one end, we put a flame on it. Say we put a lighter on it. We heat this up. This is when the temperature heats this up. We have two dissimilar metals. We have a hot junction where we got the heat from the flame, the cold junction, two dissimilar wires, goes back and it creates a DC millivolts, which is electricity. Once this electricity is generated from this heat, and how this actually works, I'm not certain on the scientific data, but they call this the Seebeck effect. And so anyway, it goes back. Once we manually hold this down, it sends the electrical signal to the gas valve. So the little press thing on top, spring loaded, actually holds itself in now. Okay, now for safety purposes, what happens if the flame flames out or goes out? Say this flame dies. This begins to get cold. So if it gets cold over here, there's no electricity here. So what's going to happen, this solenoid's going to pop up. So what happens is this gas entering this valve is going to stop here, because one does not want this gas going into this valve out into the house without the flame actually burning the gas off. So again, this is a thermocouple with gas logs, with a standing pilot, or maybe a wall unit with a standing pilot. So again, flame goes in. Once it goes in, heats this up, creates a millivolt, DC millivolts, two separate dissimilar wires. gives it enough electricity so it holds the plunger down. Once the plunger's down, if the heat dies, the plunger goes up, the gas stops. It's a very simple but yet a very great idea. And again, this may be called something. Part of this may be called the Seebeck effect. But this is how a gas logs or gas wall unit with a standing pilot works. If you find these videos helpful, please share, like, and subscribe, and have a wonderful day.